and let's stop right there, because I think that most of our listeners that have been around for quite a while know that I haven't given Ryan Blaney much credit. And it was last year before he went on a run to win the championship. I was basically like, what has this guy even done in the NASCAR Cup Series other than just a handful of victories with one of the most dominant teams in Cup Series? This is the type of stats that you need to start accumulating to set yourself aside from a Jamie McMurray career versus a Carl Edwards career, right? These are the types of stats, Taz Taylor, that you've got to accumulate over the existence of your career, which means that Ryan Blaney really, he's moving in the right direction. I've been critical of Blaney. The more that time has gone on, the more of a fan I feel like I'm becoming of Ryan Blaney. What is your take over the last year, the growth of Ryan Blaney, where he's at, and what he has the potential to become, Taz Taylor?
I think if Blaney keeps going the way he is, I think he could. I think he's got a long, promising career ahead of him. Obviously, the momentum he had, I think, with where he was with Wood Brothers, if he stayed at Wood Brothers, or at least at that sort of tier, I don't think he would have moved up at all. But ever since coming to Penske and had about a couple of years to kind of grow and get used to the competition level in the Cup Series with the equipment he's had, I think he's grown. He's obviously felt the lowest of lows, being that he had that long winless streak. I think it was somewhere. It came in of, what was it, 2022, Chris? He did not win at all that season, and then he won the Coke 600 last year to break the winless streak. He felt the lowest of lows, and when the winless streak broke, he felt the emotions of it. And then obviously he had the highest of highs when he went on the run towards the end of last year to become a champion. And I think he's, with Blaney dealing with the lowest of lows and experiencing the highest of highs, I think he really truly understands the true raw emotions, no matter where you are with the NASCAR Cup Series. Now he fully understands. Now he fully grows. I think he's starting to understand that he's no longer the young guy, the rookie. I think he's starting to understand that, he's starting to become a veteran driver. Knows that he's got the team and he's got the confidence to be competitive on a weekly basis. And I think that Blaney understands now that if he's got momentum on his side, there ain't anything going to stop him.
Taz Taylor, when you said something about 2022 season, it reminded me that this guy got put out of the chase, right? 2022 was the year of with 16 wins, I think 17 total wins by drivers in the Cup Series. And Ryan Blaney, though he had not been in victory lane, if I'm not mistaken, Taz Taylor, he was fourth in point standings when the chase started. Martin Truex was, I believe, second in the points championship, and they only was able to take one driver in on points, and that happened to be Martin Truex Jr., not Ryan Blaney, if that serves me correct. Am I correct on that, Taz Taylor?
Yes, because that year was the first year of the next-gen car. That was when we should have had 16 playoff drivers based on wins but Kurt Busch had the concussion and withdrew his spot that allowed Truex to get in on points. And Truex was the only driver to get in on points. And yes, Ryan Blaney was competing with Truex points-wise and did not make the cut.
Yeah, so, Ryan, that was the year of consistency, right? I mean, he may not have gotten a win, but he had a year of consistency. And you go to the 21 race season, I believe he had a race win. Of course, he had one as well when he was driving for Wood Brothers. So the progressiveness of this guy's career may not have been a fast incline, but as we start looking and starting, to reevaluate this driver's career, we're definitely seeing what could be, look, one thing about Carl Edwards, we knew almost immediately Carl Edwards was going to be something special in NASCAR, right? But Chase Elliott, we're still on the fence about. Yeah, he's a NASCAR champion, but him and Ryan Blaney are both NASCAR champions, and they won it fairly young in their careers. Brad Keselowski, another guy who, won a championship early on in his career. Of course, when you add that championship, you are a Cup champion, and you are now considered an elite driver. Whether or not he's had the specific stats over the last several years to be a superstar in the sport, I haven't quite seen that, but I think the coming out party for Ryan Blaney has literally just begun. It feels almost, Taz Taylor, like there's been some kind of torch pass that Joey Logano now feels like where Brad Keselowski was 3 or 4 years ago